when a company discovers that they're short-termists, and it should be evident, right? But when they discover that, how do they convert? How do they go from this short-term mentality to a long-termist mentality?
Oh boy, well,
Specific to AI, I should say.
We are all and will continue to be both, right? And so, it's not as though we have, clients who are patently enlightened and others who are patently unenlightened, right? I think it's more of a mixing board, a balance. But what I would tell you is, if your go-to punch is cost minimization, right? Efficiencies and the delivery of existing KPIs with less input, human or otherwise, then that's squarely a short-term move, because there's nothing in there that's about creativity or generativity. That's about doing today's outcomes with leaner, meaner, cleaner inputs. I think that the question that our clients are asking themselves, and I think we as Deloitte are doing our best to help with, is what might you do differently in the future because of this AI technology, right? And what you find is that requires a generative act on the part of the individual, right? That requires creativity in the boardroom, the C-suite, and across the enterprise. I'll give you a crunchy example, like just kind of a real one. In our tech trends, we talked with Shutterstock, the stock photography company, right? And when they saw generative AI, emerging, you could imagine they felt an existential threat, because why would you pay a photographer for a picture of, say, the Golden Gate Bridge when you could conjure one up from the generative genie, right? Well, what they realized was, okay, rather than think about this as a means of doing away with photographers, as a means of status quo, leaner, meaner, cleaner, they said, what if we built our own image diffusion model, right, trained on our own corpus of images? And what was so interesting about that was, A, it would obviate any concerns about IP and were the wrong images used to train this? No, the Shutterstock images were used to train it, right? So that was a win. But where it got generative, where it got rocket fuel as opposed to, right, diet, was they said, wait a minute, in order to keep this thing not only going but growing, we're going to need to recognize and remunerate the human giants upon which this model stands. And so they now provide an annuity payment, a monthly tip of the hat payment, to every photographer who ever provided photos into the systems that trained that model. And what they've gone ahead and done is created an entirely new future-friendly business of photographers as model trainers, in addition to photographers as photographers.